Coach Eric Nichols, first off, congratulations on a 2-0 win over Michigan tonight.
Thank you.
Now you played a good, first half seemed like both teams played well, had some chances, not a lot of shots, but I mean, kind of an up and down battle, and you're scoreless. And then you went, halfway through the second half again, so roughly 75% of the match scoreless. Were you at all nervous in that time? Were you feeling good because your team was playing well, or what were your thoughts?
I did think we were playing pretty well. Certainly we could have done better, keeping the ball a little bit longer, creating more. I think if we keep the ball longer, we create more chances. But this is a good defensive team we played, especially their goalkeeper. So to be honest, we knew it was going to be really hard to score goals. So that we weren't nervous about being 0-0. We wanted to make sure we kept them off the board. That was the key.
Then midway through the second half, you get takeaway kind of deep in Michigan's end. Sam gets a steal and pokes it to Danny, who scores. Can you just talk about Danny's goal and then your thoughts at that point? Now you're up 1-0.
Yeah, it was a great goal. He took it well. I think we connected a couple passes which opened that up, but then we lost it and won it right back, which is key. Sam won it right back, poked it to Danny, and Danny's a goal scorer. He knows where the goal is at all times. Turned and found the net, and he scored a good goal. And it was going to take a good goal to beat that back line and beat that goalkeeper in particular.
And now, midway through the second half, you find yourself up 1, and as good teams do, Michigan kind of turned up the pressure. Yep. They had some chances, and you fought those off. If you could maybe just talk about both your defense and really the whole team, keeping them off the board, and then Ryan Snashel gets what's kind of the clinching goal there with just a couple minutes left.
Well, you said it. When they go down, they're going to push. That's very clear. Any team is going to do that, take more risks. We like to defend from our front line, and then midfield, then defenders, and then goalkeeper. And we did it on every line, and actually every line was called on. We prefer our goalkeeper never have to make saves, but they got in, and even Mike made some big saves, and it was definitely one of those collective efforts.
And then, can you Ryan Snashel gets that last goal. If you want to just tell me, what you remember about that play, and then just your thoughts then, because nothing's for sure, but now you got to be feeling pretty good up 2 with 2.5 minutes left.
Shoot, it felt like I didn't realize it was that late. It felt like there was still an eternity left. I loved it because it was a counterattack. We were defending because they were throwing numbers at us, and then we were able to connect passes and execute a counter, which is not always easy to do. It takes a number of pretty precise plays, runs, passes, shots to execute that, and it can be deadly when you do, and that's what it was.
And I think from what I know of you as a coach, obviously you're never going to stop working no matter, what the results are, and you're a pretty positive guy. But how nice is it? You have a pretty young team, and now you've worked together for, you had them in for a couple weeks, and I mean, how nice is it to see the things you're preaching to them pay off?
It's good. It's a good group of guys. They're good soccer players. They work hard, so it's a group that when you address them, you see a connection there. They understand what we're talking about. They rise to the challenges. But we talked about before the game too that this is obviously a big game for us, but it wasn't going to dictate who we are. Right. It wasn't going to dictate our season, and that's what we just talked about again. Enjoy this one, but we got a whole number of these left. So we'll have fun tonight, but then definitely back to work. We want to improve on this.
And my final question/statement to you, going back through the attendance records back to 1997, the biggest home crowd in that time, so the last roughly 14, 15 years, was 600 something. We had 2,100 something tonight. Can you talk about just the atmosphere in here and how the guys feeding off that and vice versa?
It was huge. We knew we were going to have a big crowd because we'd really worked hard to connect with the community, and they'd bought in. Our guys are good guys, and that blew us away. And the energy from the student section to the kids, it was absolutely magical.
All right, Coach, and that's, like you said, this is just the first of many matches this season. We got a 3-game homestand here, and you're back out here next Wednesday against IPFW. So we will talk with you sometime here between now and then. But otherwise, anything else I didn't ask you about for tonight?
No, I'm a little concerned. We had a little thing with our team that once we got our first shutout, that the coaching staff would have to do a ice bath, and I'm just now realizing that ice bath is probably waiting for me back in the locker room. So,
you know, and I don't want to pile on, but there was also the 200 Twitter followers. Man. There's a steak dinner for the team, and hopefully the support staff.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll have to check on that, but it's documented now. At least it's out there. So, well, you may have an ice bath to run off to here, Coach. Yep. So, congratulations, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.